Super. So we're going to find for this session, we need to have something long. So whether that is a Harry Potter scarf or a yoga strap or a belt or the belt from a dressing gown, anything like that, so that we can play around with it. We're going to put it to the side for now and start moving through, just sending the spine into as many different directions as possible. But we will be focusing on the shoulders today. And so that's good to have to hand for when we come to that. So we're going to start with just gently rocking forwards and backwards onto the soles of the feet. And I very often start the sessions like this because it's a really good way to just tune into little feedback into the body and just coming into your own range of movement here. So it doesn't matter how far that is. It doesn't matter if we're all making exactly the same shapes or not. The whole idea with functional flow with sports yoga is that we're looking at our own range of movement and working within that. And then we can come out to the sides and then start to circle around. So it might be that this is a really contained movement, or it might be kind of crazy spaghetti knees going on. It doesn't matter. It's just an opportunity to tune into your body. Lovely. And then make that movement smaller and smaller. Lift up the toes, spread them out as if we're trying to get every single toe, a little bit of space in between every toe. Lovely. Feel that connection with the ground. Feel the soles of the feet almost kind of sucking up a little bit into the arches of the feet. And then we're going to bring the hands onto the hips. We're going to bend the knees there and then stick the tailbone out as far as is comfortable and then scooping it down. Lovely. So again, not kind of forcing, oh, I must get my bum to that point. Just feeling through, getting curious about this incredible structure that we live in, that we inhabit. And then start to bring the hips out to the side. So here you might start to feel the outer edges of the hips join in. Interesting. Little conversation with the body. And then we can start to circle around, circling in one direction, circling in the other. And you can make this movement as big or as small as you wish. Lovely. So making that movement smaller and smaller now until you find yourself in your center. So from here, we've had the knees bent, we can start to gently lengthen up, start to get that idea of sucking up through the ground, through the soles of the feet. Legs are strong, so we start to feel the quads engage here, holding us still. And then bring the hands onto the ribs now. And we're going to stick the ribs out as far as we can. Hips are staying where they are, and then scooping the ribs down. Hips stay where they are. Lovely. So again, working within your own range of movement, doesn't matter where you get to. And then we can let that movement come out side to side. So again, hips are staying where they are. We're not kind of doing this. Lovely. And then if it's comfortable, we can start to circle around. Again, let the hips stay where they are. It's helpful to keep your hands onto the part that you're concentrating on. So as soon as I bring my hands onto the hips, they start to move as well. Same with the ribs. Let it just be there, lovely. And then we'll bring the hands onto the shoulders. So you can circle the shoulders round in each direction. Really nice. A few circles each direction. And then we can let that movement become bigger. Hands can release. Lovely. Exploring the space around us. Take up as much space as you want to here. You don't need to keep it super contained. Lovely. And then next time that the arms come up, we're going to twist to one side. Feel that spiral through the spine. And then breathing in to lift. And we're going to twist to the other side. Really nice. Let's see if we can start to get the lower ribs to join in. So rather than just twisting into the shoulders, the idea of the ribs coming round as well, starting to join in. Really nice. When we've done the same amount on both sides, no rush, both arms up. And we'll bring a side reach in so the right hand can slide down towards the right knee. Again, hips stay where they are, just moving into navel upwards. And as we get older, this is one of the first movements that we start to lose. So it's a really, really good one, this side reaching to explore, to reintroduce back into the body. And it's really energizing. If you're knackered, there's a reason why when we yawn, we automatically kind of go into that Stage, I shouldn't have said yawn, it's going to make me yawn. Bringing the hands back down when you've done the same amount on both sides. And we'll start to move into the neck. So the neck is part of the spine, we often forget that. And when we're working into the shoulders, as we are today, movement into the neck affects these muscles into the very top of the shoulders. So we can just encourage gentle movement here. We can bring the chin to the chest as we roll the head through to one side and rolling through to the other. Notice how that starts to affect the ripple effect across this space along the back of the neck into the tops of the shoulders. Again, when you've done the same amount on both sides, head comes to rest lightly on top of the neck. We're going to bring one thumb onto one collarbone and one finger comes on top of the other, and then the hand comes on top of that. So like that. And then we're going to release the head all the way back. So start to feel a stretch across the front of the throat here. And then on the next out breath, we'll bring the chin to the chest. Breathing in, the head releases back. Breathing out, chin to the chest. So keeping the hands there, we start to stretch across the jaw into the throat. Really good way of releasing tension. We don't even realize often that we send tension into that space. So quite a nice one to play with. Lovely. So we have just worked all the way along the spine. Let's carry on going. I'm going to tuck the chin to the chest and roll down. So we can keep the knees soft and start to feel the head heavy, shoulders heavy, as we roll down bone by bone towards the ground, releasing the body to gravity. So take your time to get there. There is no rush. Once we've got to as far as we're going to get to, we can start to restack, rebuilding one vertebra on top of the other, coming all the way back up to standing. So here we're encouraging independent movement into the body. So restacking one vertebra at a time and then coming all the way back down. This time as we come down, we're going to bring the sit bones down and make our way onto our backs with the knees bent, with as much or as little dignity as you wish. So I'm going to slightly adjust the camera here. Marvellous. Soles of the feet onto the floor. Start to press the shoulder blades into the ground. So get that connection with the shoulder blades into the ground. And then as if we're trying to squeeze a pencil between those shoulder blades. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. You might start to find that the chest lifts here and then releasing it down. Squeezing in shoulder blades together and then down. So here, when we explore this sort of movement, in my own body, I start to experience, I think of the shoulders as something on the top and on the back of the body. Here, I experience it, start to find that sense of the body being rounded as well, three-dimensional. So it's that kind of scooping out to the sides and then back round, kind of winging into the back of the body. So it just gives me slightly different sense into my body here. And then we'll release the shoulders and let the head drop to one side. Breathing in through center as we come to the other side. And we can use the weight of the head on the ground, releasing to gravity to massage across the back of the head. When we've done the same amount on both sides, no rush, we can interlace the hands, bring the head to rest completely into the hands. So here we're not going to do a crunch, we're keeping the shoulders down, we're using the hands to lift the chin to the chest. So taking a breath in and exhaling, bring the chin to the chest using the hands. So the hands lift the head away, lovely, feel the stretch across the back of the neck. And then the head can release down, elbows out. Lovely, we'll take a breath out, chin to the chest, and then breathing in, head comes down, elbows wide, lovely. So one more there. Notice how that travels not just into the back of the neck, but between the shoulders, all those little ripple effects there. And then we can release the hands. Bring the knees to the sky if they're not there already, soles of the feet onto the floor, and walk the feet out a little bit wider, so at mat width apart. We're going to drop the knees to one side, and then all the way through to the other. As we do this, we start to shift across the lower back, almost as if we're massaging out into the lower back this time. When we've done the same amount on both sides, no rush. We can bring the knees back up to the sky, walk the feet in a little bit closer, and find a point where you can just about reach the tips of the fingers to the heels. So we're not kind of coming in, feet super close, just reaching down. We're going to arch into the lower back, so peel the lower back away as if we want to slide a hand underneath there. And then on the out breath, we tilt the tailbone, flattening the lower back down. So breathing in, arching into the lower back, exhale to flatten. Lovely. One more time here, breathing in and exhaling. Keep that tuck this time as we press down into the feet and start to scoop the hips up, bone by bone lifting. Exhaling, one vertebra at a time, coming all the way down. So rather than just kind of lifting up and down, we are rippling, scooping up the spine and then scooping it down. So encouraging, again, that kind of independent movement into the spine, visualizing the spine as a kind of ripple. Lovely. Really nice, guys. Connecting it with the breath. And next time that the hips come down, legs come out straight, arms reaching up, reaching the right hand away from the right foot, left hand away from the left foot. One more time each side. So we feel the hips maybe in between start to shift side to side. Lovely. From here, knees in towards the chest, we can start to massage out across the lower back. From here, we can make our way to seated, either by bringing the knees to the side and pressing through, or we can rock and roll and explore that curve into the spine. Really nice, guys. Lovely. Take your time. It is the journey, not the destination. Lovely. When you're ready, no rush. Making our way to seated. So soles of the feet onto the floor. Lifting the arms up, we're going to twist to one side. Doesn't matter which one. And then breathing in to lift. And we breathe out to twist. Lovely. Breathing in to lift through center, exhaling to twist. One more time on each side. Lovely, guys. And then both arms coming up, we're going to bring the right hand down. Press down through the right hand rather than trying to come down as far as we can. Really nice. Again, that side movement, really energizing. And like I say, one of the movements that we start to lose as we get older, one of the first ones that we may lose. If you don't use it, you lose it. So let's use it. It's an awesome, awesome shape to send the body into. Really nice, guys. So from here, we're going to bring hands down and make our way into all fours. We're going to return back to the lower back. So we're not doing cat-cow here. We're not dropping the belly. Keeping the belly where it is, the ribs where they are. We're going to lift the tailbone only. And then exhaling to tuck the tailbone. So it's a tiny, tiny movement. I've got my hands onto my ribs so that I can feel if they start to move without me realizing. Lovely. Really nice. We're in a tabletop position, just moving the pelvis. Lovely, really nice. And then from here, we can start to let that movement travel up the spine so we can scoop the belly, send it between the shoulder blades, head releases down. And then reverse that ripple. So again, what we're looking for here is rather than hinge, 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 we're looking to find that snaking action up and down the back of the body. And this is just an excuse for me to do this because, you know, it's not the 90s anymore. So find that connection with the breath. The movement starts from the breath rather than the other way around. Really nice. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring right hand to the right, left hand on top, sit bones come back. Again, side reach. And then breathing in through center, left hand to the left, right hand on top, side reaching. Lovely. Let's do one more on each side. Again, work with the pace of your own breath. So if you find that I'm talking too fast or too slow, then work at the pace that your body's guiding you in. Really nice. Hands coming back down. So we're going to bring the elbows into contact with the knees. Sit bones stay on the heels. And we're going to round between the shoulders and then draw the heart through. Lovely. Rounding between the shoulder blades. Breathing in. Lovely. So here we've done a lot of stuff just focusing into the pelvis. Here we're just focusing into the thoracic spine, into the rib cage, into the shoulders. Really nice. Hands can come down, feet step back as we come into our first downward facing dog. First downward facing dog probably of the day, so let's feel our way into it. We can pedal through the feet We can shift the weight forwards, backwards, side to side. We can bend into the knees. Hands are spread wide. Hands are about shoulder width apart. Feet are about hip width apart. And then from here, we can step our feet to the top of the mat. Rise with a flat back, hands to the shins, and then squeeze shoulder blades together. So find that engagement into the back of the body. And then coming all the way back up to standing. Awesome, guys. So let's move through a warm-up. Let's bring some heat into the body. Breathing in, the arms lift. Breathing out as we fold. Hinging through. Breathing in to lift halfway. Exhaling to fold. Forward fold. We can bend the knees as much as we want to here. Breathing in to lift all the way back up to standing. I'm going to talk through that again. Some of you guys will already know this, but there are a few newer people. So whenever we do a forward fold in yoga, it's really good to think about being a drunken sailor. Bear with me, bear with me. So I had some training with a guy called David Swenson, and he explained it like this. So it's not my analogy, but it certainly sticks. When we are doing a forward fold, we need to think of ourselves as a sailor who's had way too much to drink. So imagine that he's there and he's had too much to drink and he can just see a wall in the distance, and if he could just get to it, he'd feel so much better if he could get this stuff out of himself. So he staggers forward and then, oh, there you go, he's able to, it's that kind of idea when we're doing a forward fold. So rather than, and I apologize, it is gross, but I promise you, you'll never do a forward fold in the same way. So rather than forward fold, dropping, can you see in my body that comes into my mid-spine here? We're looking to get up and out of the pelvis. Lovely. So that's our forward fold. Let's play around with that. So breathing in to lift up. And it's the same whether we're seated or wide-legged or standing. Exhaling, drunken sailor. Awesome, guys. You feel the difference. Breathing in to lift halfway. Hands down, feet back. Either into a plank or we can bring the knees down. Lovely. And then we can step up into downward facing dog. We can pedal through the feet. We can shake the head no, nod the head yes. One more breath here. Send the breath into the back of the ribs. And then we can step or walk to the top of the mat. Rise with a flat back, squeeze shoulder blades together, and exhaling to fold. Pressing down into the big toes, lifting up. Awesome. Hands by the side. Let's do that again. Breathing in to lift up. Breathing out, drunken sailor to fold. Lovely. Breathing in to lift up halfway. Hands down, feet back. Again, option to bring the knees down. And then scooping up into downward facing dog. Again, we can pedal through the feet. We can shake the head no, nod the head yes. Really nice. When you're ready, walking to the top of the mat as we rise with a flat back. And exhale to fold. Press down into the big toes, sweeping the arms all the way up to standing, length along the body. Lovely, hands by the side. From here, bending into the knees, finding our chair pose. Lovely. If we feel like we're bunching up into the shoulders, we can bring the arms wider. That's all good. And then we can bring both hands down. We're going to step the left foot back, left knee down, and the right arm lifts. Lovely. Breathe in, both hands down. Breathe out, left arm lifts. So coming through to the other side. Let's do one more on each side. Really nice, guys. Start to find that spinal rotation, space across the chest. Both hands down, stepping back into downward dog. Right leg lifts, left knee down, right foot steps through. Sounds wrong, but it's right. It's like a chocolate orange. Lovely. Hands onto the shoulders. And we're going to twist to one side. Breathing in through center, exhaling to the other side. And that back foot, we can either have it tucked or flat, entirely up to you. Lovely. And then we'll bring the right hand to the right hip. Left arm reaches over, sneaky side reach. One more onto the other side. Lovely. Both hands down, stepping back into downward dog. Again, we can move or we can be still, you choose. When you're ready, we can step, walk or jump to the top of the mat, rise with a flat back. Exhale to fold. Press down into the feet as we come into our chair pose. Lovely. Notice what's happened to the tailbone if we're sticking the bum out or scooping it under. See if we can find that midpoint. Really nice. And then pressing up to standing. Let's do another one there. Breathing in. And exhaling to fold. Inhaling to lift halfway. This time right foot back. Right knee down, left arm lifts. Breathing in through center and exhaling, right arm lifts. Let's do one more on each side. See if we can get that movement into the ribs rather than the hips here. And then both hands can come down. Stepping back into downward dog. We can pedal through the feet, we can be still, you choose. And this time, left leg lifts up, right knee down, left foot steps through. And we rise, lovely. Decide what you want to do with that back foot. Hands onto the shoulders as we twist. Breathing in through center and exhaling to twist. Lovely, one more time on each side, working with the pace of your own breath. And then we can find that side reaching. Hand onto the hip, doesn't matter which one, we're doing one on each side. Hands can come down, feet step back into downward dog. And we breathe. See if we can send the breath into the back of the ribs, expanding. And maybe sigh the breath out through the mouth. Maybe one more breath like that. We can step, we can walk, we can jump. To the top of the mat, rise with a flat back. Exhale into fold. Bend into the knees, coming into our chair. And then pressing down through the feet. Lovely. So from here, we can pick up, what on earth is going on with my trousers? We can pick up our Harry Potter's tie, or whatever it is that you guys have got around. So we're going to start with the hands nice and wide. It doesn't matter what's happening with the feet here. If you want to, you can kind of do that rooting down, pressing down into the ground to find that Tadasana, that mountain strong pose through the legs. We can bring the hands nice and wide here, and we'll start to bring them all the way over the head and then behind. Lovely. Really nice. So we're just exploring our range of movement, and notice if the ribs start to join in here. So for me, the closer my hands are, the more my ribs start to do that. Whoa. Lovely. So from here, we're going to walk the hands in a little bit closer. Bring the hands above the head as they come round. I'm sure this is what the makers of the Harry Potter tie had in mind when they were making it. And then we can start to walk the hands in a little bit closer. So you remember, you're in charge here. You can choose how close the hands come. I haven't said 3 centimeters or 5 centimeters. So choose what feels right in your body. Really important to listen in to where your body's at today. And it might be different to the last time that you were moving your shoulders in a way like this. Lovely. Option to start to walk the hands in a little bit closer. Oh, creaky shoulders, Esther. Can't be getting old. Bring the hands maybe a little bit closer. So maybe explore bringing them to the point where there'll be a point where your arms need to bend to do it. Whoa, I think that's it for me. But to be able to do it, I need to find your edge, whatever that is. Lovely. And then from here, we're going to bring the hands behind us and then lengthen them away and then swapping the arms round. Really nice. So seeing if we can do this with minimal sticking the ribs out, we're looking to move through the shoulders rather than the ribs, recognizing that the shoulders live in that space. But we shouldn't be striving to force the body, sticking the ribs out just for the sake of being able to do that. So find your point where you can comfortably do that. Lovely. And then we'll bring the hands in front of the body, coming forwards. Do that same movement. Lovely. Really nice. And then we're going to make our way down to seated. So we can be kneeling, we can be cross-legged, doesn't matter, we can be on the heels. The focus is on the upper part of the body here. So we're going to bring the right arm out, Bring the left arm either to the right shoulder blade, if it reaches, or holding the underneath of the arm. And we're going to press that arm out and then drawing it back in. So notice here, we're looking to get the sensations into the shoulder blade rather than reaching forwards and twisting. So we're just using those lovely little muscles in between, lovely big muscles, in between the shoulder blades here. Lovely. So hand can be there. And then from here we can start to circle. Really nice. So again, ribs are staying where they are, chest stays where it is. Just moving into the shoulder, we can send those circles around in the other direction. So we're coming forwards and backwards rather than circling that way. We're circling forwards. Lovely. And then we'll do the same on the other side. So either right hand onto the shoulder blade or underneath the arm. Press forwards and then scooping it back. Forwards, scooping back. Lovely. One more time. And then we can start to circle away. Lovely. Arms stay straight. Really nice. Lovely. So from here, we're going to make our way into all fours. So another thing to play around with, I'm not including it in detail here because you guys might not have the stuff to do it, but if you have at home a foam roller or a kind of cylindrical thing, whatever that is, even wrapping up paper, you can do that same movement there. I'm not going to include it in the session, I'm just letting you know in case you want to, if you do have that stuff at home, you can play around with that another time. Lots of you have, brilliant. Well, if you have, then feel free to do that. So again, we're just moving into the shoulders, but for those of you who don't happen to have foam rollers or cylindrical things, we'll move into all fours. So we're going to find that same movement, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, press the shoulder blades away, and then drawing the shoulder blades back onto the body. So just as I was saying earlier, this sort of movement gives me much more of a 3D idea of my torso. So rather than, I think we often think of the body in terms of kind of front and back. This helps us to kind of find that connection into the sides of the body as well. Our shoulders don't just live under our ears. I think the song Head, Shoulders, Knees and Toes gives a lot of us our idea of where our shoulders are. They actually live on the back of the body. Lovely. So from here, we can play with this same movement. Bring the hands forwards, bring the sit bones slightly further back, pressing away and then drawing them together. So again, this is not, we're not letting the tailbone join in here. We're looking to find independent movement into the spine, this time into the shoulders. Really nice. So from here, let's go into our downward facing dog. So tuck the toes under, sit bones lift, and we can find that same pressing away. It might feel as if you're sticking the shoulders into the ears and then sending the shoulders away from the ears. Lovely. Option to explore, forearms down, either flat down or holding onto the hands. You can do that same movement with the knees down to begin with, pressing away, and then squeezing shoulder blades together. Lovely. So all of this is stabilizing and strengthening. So if you're feeling that you're it's getting a bit fatigued here, that's completely understandable. We're not stretching here, we are strengthening. Option to tuck the toes under, come into down a dolphin. So sit bones lift, pressing shoulder blades away, let them slide back down. Same movement. We're not changing the movement, we're just changing our relationship with gravity. Really nice. Last couple of options to play with here are to come into a plank. In our plank, we've always got the option to bring the knees down or to tuck the toes under and lift up. Same movement. So hips stay where they are. The movement comes from the shoulders, whether the knees are down or away. Lovely, guys, really nice. Whew. Hello, shoulders. So from here into downward facing dog, there endeth the stability section. And we can start to step or walk. So we're now going to play around with some mobilization into the body, breathing into lift, exhaling down, breathing into lift all the way up. See if we can get that sense of the movement coming from the back of the body. Lovely. And then coming back down. Let's play around with that a bit. So rather than arms up, feel that sense of the shoulders squeezing the arms up. Oh, so strong. And then back down. Really nice. So you feel that that movement comes from the back of the body rather than, and actually my arms can only get so high when I'm doing that. I'm using those awesome muscles that kind of fan out here. Brilliant, guys. Really nice. Strong. Super strong. So from here, we're going to move through our functional, but with awareness into the shoulders. So breathing in to lift the right knee. Send that right foot back. We can bring the arms out, coming into our warrior 3. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Option to bring the elbows out to the side. Lovely. So we're cactusing the arms. Bending into that left knee. Right foot comes down. Right heel down. Straightening the legs. Side reach. Bring the left hand down. Again, awareness into the shoulders. These might be shapes that you've been in before. How does it feel when you bring that awareness into the back of the body? Lovely. We're going to bend into that left knee, coming back up to standing. Heels out. Lovely. Breathing into lift. Squeeze shoulder blades together, elbows down. Lovely. Breathing into lift up. Exhaling down. Awesome. Last one. Really nice. So right heel comes out again, left foot forwards, reaching forwards, and then we'll bring that left elbow to the knee as we bring the right arm above the ear. Lovely. From here, we're going to lift that back heel. So being aware of any discomfort into that back foot. Hands onto the shoulders, and we'll drop that back knee to a hover. Breathing into lift, exhaling to a hover. Awesome. Last one. This time, we'll use the power through that back leg to reach both arms parallel. Awesome. Hands into the chest, right elbow onto that left knee. We're going to go for the twist. So we're spiraling round. Bring the thumbs into the chest. Lovely. We're going to step that right foot forwards. Keep the elbows where they are, keeping the twist. Lovely. Breathing in, release the elbows as we float the left leg up. Option to cactus the arms out to the side, squeeze shoulder blades together. And then the left foot comes down, coming into our chair. Lovely. So we can play around with that. So rather than having the arms up, elbows out to the side. Start to feel that awareness there. Awesome. Let's move through that on the other side. So right, left leg lifts, left leg steps back, coming into our warrior 3. Left foot down, left heel down. Lovely. Straighten that right leg. Arms reach out and then tilt. Really nice. Find our triangle, Utthita Trikonasana. Again, get that sense of squeezing shoulder blades together. We're going to bend into that front knee, lift all the way back up to standing. Left heel in as we find our lengthening up, exhaling down. Breathing in up, breathing out. Lovely, last one. From here, back heel comes out. Bend into that right knee, right elbow down, left arm reaches over. Lovely. Again, awareness into the back line of the body. From here, lift the back heel, hands onto the shoulders. And we can drop the knee to a hover, breathing in to lengthen. Exhaling down, inhaling up. Last one. Really nice. Use the power in the back leg to reach forwards. Hands into the chest. Left elbow to the knee as we twist towards the right side this time. Left foot steps forwards. Really nice. Breathing in to lift up. Right leg comes back. Option to cactus the arms. Awesome. Flying yogis. Bring the right foot down, coming into our chair. Really nice. And then we'll start to come down into seated. So we can do that how you like. Dignified, undignified, collapsing in a heap. Entirely up to you. So we're going to get our scarf again and play around a little bit more with shoulder mobility before coming into our recovery. So a very helpful shape to send the body into is arms coming in separate directions. In a traditional yoga class, that might look like trying to do this. In functional movement, in sports yoga, we can get that same awareness by bringing the hands to the opposite side. And if you think about it, this is kind of the shape. We're trying to put a jacket on, get the arm into the jacket behind us, scooping it around. So there's the method in the madness. It's a really helpful shape to send the body into. So we can do that by bringing the hand onto our, whatever we've got basically, and bring it over one shoulder. So we've got the little bit coming down. This is a good look, isn't it? And we can bring, so I'm working with my right arm. I've got the strap on my right shoulder. So just work with whatever side you're working on. Right arm can come up, both hands interlink, and we can drop hands to one side and then all the way through to the other. So for some of us, it might feel like our head is getting a bit squashed here. See if we can use the strength to lift up. So we're using the head almost to kind of encourage that arm up. Lovely. And next time that the right elbow comes down, no rush, we can start to bring that left hand further over behind. So for a moment, just easing over to one side. And then we can start to bring the left hand to our strap. Lovely. From here, it can feel really nice to bring the right hand onto the lower back. That can be a really nice space to hang out in, particularly if there's any discomfort into the shoulder or any old injuries there. Alternatively, we can start to press that right arm as far away to the other side as we can get it. Lovely. Option to start to scoop the arm all the way around. So try and get as much space as if you're scooping up the space around you, and then bring the hand onto the lower back. Lovely. So we get a little bit more space into that right shoulder. We can find our strap and then start to lengthen away through the spine. So again, traditionally we would be looking for this, but can you see how much more space we can find into the back when we're using our strap here? Lovely. And then releasing the hands from wherever they've got to, bring the strap to the other side. I'll do the same on the other side, so the arms above the head, easing down to one side and through to the other. Again, exploring if we can use the head to encourage that arm up. And I apologise, my husband is ex-army. He's incapable of being on the phone at less than 10 decibels, I think. Bless him. So again, left arm can come up, elbow up towards the sky. See if we can get that left arm towards the right side this time. Lovely. Pausing there for a moment, and then we can bring that left hand to find our strap. Lovely. Right hand can come onto the lower back. We can start, we've just done that side, haven't we? Sorry. Hands back up, right elbow up. Find the strap. Left arm across to the other side. Really nice. And then maybe we start to scoop all the way around. Take up as much space as you want to. And we all have a dominant side. It's one side that will feel easier than the other. So here we're not looking to try and hold on to the hands. We're looking to find that sense of space. We're opening up into the right underarm, biceps, triceps, and externally rotating into the left shoulder. And we breathe here. Lovely. So from here we can release wherever we've got to. And Bring the arms out wide. Turn the thumbs down, pressing the hands towards one another. Breathing in to draw the hands back through as we open all the way out. Exhaling, thumbs down, pressing down. So let this movement travel up your spine. Breathing in to open up, exhaling, down. Lovely. Let's do one more there. And exhaling. So if you've been doing a lot of seated or driving or computer or on your phone, this can be a really nice one to explore because it just sends the body into basically the opposite shapes than what modern life does. So from here, soles of the feet can come onto the floor. You might want to get some layers, a blanket or jumper or something. When we come to stillness, the body temperature naturally drops. And if you want, you can just lie down. Or you can find that squeeze of the shoulder blades and rounding, squeezing them together and rounding. Again, last little checking in. Lovely. And then getting lower and lower each time. Awesome, guys. How low can you go? Really nice. Edging towards lying down until we eventually place the shoulder blades onto the mat. So traditionally, the posture here would be to have the feet about mat distance apart, a little bit wider than we might imagine, palms facing up to the sky. However, any other shape is all good. We need to find a place where we can just be still for a little bit. So this is where we encourage the body away from the stress response and into the state of rest and digest, where the body literally absorbs everything that we've just done. We send it into the state of repair, regeneration, where it absorbs change on a cellular level. And we can do that through the breath, this amazing tool that we've always got with us. So if it feels comfortable, we can close the eyes or soften the gaze and take a few breaths here. Breathing in, feel the front of the body lift and expand. And exhaling, front of the body drops to meet the earth. Let's do a few more breaths like that if it feels comfortable. Breathing in fully. Exhaling completely. Last one. And then let your breath return back to its natural ebb and flow. Whatever that pace is. We don't need to try and force the breath, don't need to try and control it. The body has always been breathing. It is incredible. And send your awareness into different parts of the body, anywhere that you know that you've got a tendency to hold tension. See if you can invite it to release. Maybe the forehead, the eyebrows, the space around the eyes, into the cheeks, the jaw. Let the tongue be soft in the mouth. Maybe swallowing to release into the muscles in the throat. Shoulders completely supported by the ground. Radiating the awareness down into the elbows, into the wrists, into the backs of the palms, backs of the hands, into the palms, into the fingers as they soften. And then the whole way along the back of the body, returning to the shoulder blades, to the ribs, mid-back, lower back. There's no need to be doing anything here. Just release to gravity. Hips are heavy, upper legs and knees, lower legs and ankles release. Tops of the feet, soles of the feet and toes soften. Everything completely held as you arrive in your recovery, encouraging the body to release, to rest. And if you find that the mind starts to wander, know that that's completely natural. Anytime you notice it, you can gently guide the awareness back to notice the next in-breath and the next out-breath. It's always there for you to return to. Slowly bringing the awareness back into the body, reconnecting the body with the mind and the mind with the body, maybe bringing tips of the fingers to pass over tips of the thumbs, moving into the hands, the wrists, the arms, into the toes, the feet, the ankles and legs. And when you're ready, rolling to lie on the side, keeping the eyes closed or the gaze softened just for a short while longer. Using the hands to ease you back up into comfortable seated. Feel the connection with the ground, rooting down into the sit bones as we grow tall and long across the spine. We can bring one hand onto the belly, one hand onto the heart, breathing in, filling up that space. And breathing out, completely letting go of the breath. One more breath like that, breathing in fully. And exhaling completely. Gently blinking the eyes open, slowly letting the light filter back in. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to turn off the recording now.